Well, welcome back to another Run Disney Rundown. We're here to talk all things Wine and Dine weekend. If you ran, congratulations. Or if you were by chance here and you ran New York today, congratulations. I know we were all following all of the amazing runners that we knew doing New York. That is incredible. We had friends up there working the Expo too, which is really cool. So yeah, congratulations all around. Or if you are training for Dopey or another race and you had your long run this weekend, please just let us know whether it's Wine and Dine, another race, or what your training long run was. Let us know in the comments, and we will be happy to share and talk all things training. But I'm Lake, and this is Katie.
Hello. Welcome. Yes, it's just a couple weeks of just so many races, and I did a race yesterday and a long run today.
Yeah, how was your race?
The race was really good. I did like a distance training program with our local running club that led up to a local 10K, and a friend of mine trained for her first 10K like with me doing it, and she did absolutely amazing. Plus, in Central Florida, we just had like absolutely amazing running weather this weekend. So, it was great. I'm excited. I hope we can do it again next year. So,
Yeah, we had some great weather down here
yeah,
this weekend.
a blessing for the 15 miles of today was the good weather for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We both did 15s, trying to ramp up and get ready for Dopey weekend here.
Yep. I feel like looking at me, you can tell I ran 50 miles today. I look tired.
Wine and Dine Half was so fun. I've never been in the first corral, so it was a blast. Next up is Goofy in the Challenge for me. Congratulations.
That's
We
exciting
love to
being
hear
up
it.
front. That is, I don't know if I'll ever be in Corral A, but I do have like dreams and short term goals of getting like a proof of time, and a proof of time corral is on my list.
Yeah, that was intimidating for me the first time.
Yeah, I am a little intimidated, but I feel like I've done like I've seen enough progress this year that it feels doable now.
Yeah, we met Steven this weekend. He says another local half and then Disney Marathon. And he was celebrating a 10K PR during Wine and Dine.
So
Congratulations again.
good. Oh, we love it.
Yeah,
What
and
else?
Photograph the Magic, one of our Patreons as well. Training for Walt Disney World Marathon, had an 8 mile run coming off of Wine and Dine half, 17 miles next week.
Exciting. I think I'm going to do my 17 the week after next, I think is what I have scheduled. But yeah, it's crazy. I was thinking while I was running today, just like running longer than I've run since last year's marathon, because I haven't, you've trained for and run another marathon since then. I haven't. So I'm hitting those almost like milestone runs now. Anything over a half is like crazy to me.
Something you haven't done since
In a
January.
while. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. And it is certainly okay to not do any or only do one or no marathons in a year.
Yeah, you don't have to do this. I was kind of hating running today at a certain point. I was like, why am I doing this?
Says, yes, I'm working towards my proof of POT2 slowly but surely. And that's
Yeah.
a great goal to go for. We
Yep.
absolutely love that. Again, if you guys ran Wine and Dine or any other races in the last couple weeks, just let us know. Let us know how training's going. We'll keep going on. But we will go ahead and do just a little bit of housekeeping while we are here. First off, our merch pre-orders for marathon weekend. We are going to be cutting off our singlet pre-orders probably tomorrow. So if you're watching this is kind of your last chance. We are limited in sizing because our order has already been placed. So then after that, we will make sure that we're fulfilling our orders that we have once they come in. We are still expecting them to come in probably early to mid December, get the ones shipped out who did shipping, and arrange all of our marathon weekend pickups as well. Super excited to see how all these new styles come out. Thank you for those that have pre-ordered. Hats will remain up though. They are available and ready to ship. The new stitching turned out amazing on them. We are super happy. So if you are interested in a hat, you can order that and have that shipped or ready for a marathon weekend pickup. Katie, do you have anything?
I am just now remembering that I did not get ready to announce the winners of the raffle that we did in October for the ACS fundraising. So we will do another video and just post it to our social media where we pick those winners. And
Well, good news is we are getting to our channel's busy season. Marathon weekend always tends to be the big hype for our channel. Lots of people looking for that marathon weekend content. Typically, Wine Dine is the start to that. So we will expect to be having rundowns probably about every other week or so. We'll be doing some sort of live show, kind of focusing on training, gear, all of those other misc topics that we can talk about when we're not specifically breaking down race weekends. A lot of question and answers, trying to have some guests on the show as well. Just doing everything we can to help you get ready for whether it's marathon weekend, dopey, first marathon, first 10K, first 5K, all of those great things. So if you are watching this and you're looking forward to that, please do make sure you're subscribed and do all of the fun YouTubey stuff. And Lynn, good to hear from you. Yes, we did miss you at Wine and Dine. We thought we would naturally run into you, and that did not happen.
I know it's weird.
David says, congrats on Wine and Dine. Looking forward to Dopey. Yes, we are very much looking forward to Dopey. I do like Wine and Dine because it's like everyone comes back together after the season is off, but like Wine and Dine or Marathon is the big reunion.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the squad up weekend.
Feel like Wine and Dine is like such a good, well, like you said, like intro into the season, but it always gives me like a motivation boost just for running. Such a big fun race to do.
Absolutely. David says, finished Marine Corps Marathon. Congratulations. We had some friends up there as well participating in that one. And then next up is Philly Marathon. Dopey's going to be your 10th marathon. Congrats on all of those. Yeah.
We have a friend who's doing Philly too. I'm
yeah.
very excited
yeah.
to watch her do that.
But we will go ahead and start to discuss Wine and Dine. This is really our recap show. It's just about our thoughts from the weekend, our reviews from the races, and of course, with this, we get to talk about the after party as well. So if you do have questions about the weekend, or of course about Run Disney or training in general, we will hit those where they are appropriate, and of course, just do some open question and answer towards the end of the show. So if you have any questions or just want to chat with each other, please feel free to go ahead and drop them into the comments there. Tony says Wine and Dine is the long-awaited family reunion. Also one of our Patreon members. That is another thing I should mention. If you want to help support the channel, you can join us over at patreon.com/mousegen. We have one tier, super easy. We provide you guys with some exclusive content. Another thing that will be coming is we'll be doing some Zoom meetups with our Patreons, just some drop in, drop out, chat about training, running, or anything else that we want to talk about. But moving into Wine and Dine, let's talk about the Expo.
Yes, so you went to the Expo the very first day. And then you came back and did it again with me the second day. So I don't know if anything stuck out at you, particularly on the first day that was different. I don't know.
I mean, biggest thing was I did go through the virtual queue process and go through the Brooks process. And happy to report they kept that exactly the same as what we saw at springtime. Smooth process, easy try on. I did actually go through, I didn't do like what I would call the concierge try on, like where they fit you. But we did go through the Express, which is on the Expo video, where you can go and try on a couple styles if you need. And then you can go through and go do your purchasing. But all of that was, again, beautifully executed on Brooks' part. Like, all of that. Their setup is phenomenal. Multiple spots where you can see the physical shoes they're offering in those glass boxes before you actually go to pay the money for the shoes. It seems like availability was pretty good. I
Yeah, I
didn't
didn't
hear.
hear about anybody like run not getting what they wanted. One thing I did hear about, and it was interesting because I watched your expo video where like they handed you the shoes, and I feel like they checked it and like showed you the box with the men's, and I don't know if they opened it and showed it to you, but I did hear like a couple of people on Facebook say that like they got back to their hotel and they realized that they had like women's shoes instead of men's or whatnot. So maybe like if you do this in the future, like just look at the shoe before you check out. Like don't let them rush you out away from
Yeah,
the cash register. Maybe I feel like I was like surprised when I heard that because they like they did it for you
yeah,
automatically.
and I filmed like going
Yeah.
through, and I think I did cut a little bit of it just because it was me riffing with
Yeah.
the gentleman. But yes, they definitely did like pull them out because I didn't remember if I had gotten the tags, and they were in the box the whole time. But I didn't say anything because it was not a big deal to me. But I was going through the video, and she's like, "Oh yeah, and your tags are here." Like totally missed that in person,
Yeah.
but they did it.
Yeah. So if that doesn't happen for you, just take a look at them. Make sure you get the right thing. The Epcot shoes do look really cool.
Vera Mike says the Epcot shoes look good. Yeah, actually, I have one of those right behind me. Yeah, so if you did not get to see the Wine and Dine shoe, I was honestly hoping I was not gonna like this as much as I did. But they did get me with the kind of subtle spaceship Earth theming. The other one does have the Wine and Dine logo in it. I'm not gonna go into the closet. I mean, I think the big allure is the there we go, spaceship Earth on the back of it there.
It's cute.
Yeah. Only thing was like I wish like these colorways could have just been like that flat orange to go with the purple and orange like spaceship Earth glow theming.
Oh yeah, it's
It's
interesting.
more of like the Run Disney blue
Yeah.
and yellow,
I
but
think those go with the weekend like merch theming, the yellow and the
yeah, the
blue and the
yellow and the
purple.
blue.
Yeah.
But they're cool overall.
Which technically that is what they're for is the weekend. So it would be cool.
Do you already know the model you want to get or go for the design? So I mean, really, they only offer like each design in a singular model, so it's not like you get to pick whether you're getting the Ghosts Maxes or the Glycerins. So like the Stitch ones only come in the Glycerins.
Yeah.
These were the Ghost Max 3s for the Spaceship Earth ones.
Yeah.
The Disneyland ones were the Brooks 17. So they do mix them up, but unfortunately, whatever style you like in is just whatever shoe it is.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure some people might just be waiting for a good style in the shoe they like.
That's me. I'm
Yes.
waiting. Because
Whereas
I like glycerins or regular ghosts, which haven't done have they done a regular ghost?
yes,
Oh, the Halloween ones.
Halloween was
But I
regular
wasn't at
ghosts.
Halloween and I didn't want to commit to something I couldn't get in person. And then um the glycerins I didn't I know some people loved the Stitch shoe. I didn't love the Stitch shoe. It looked like a sticker of Stitch on the side to me and I'm like that's not worth it to me.
We just don't have like a big Stitch affinity. Like it's just not
Yeah.
our character preference.
Yeah.
Just like the
So
Mickey and Minnie shoes like aren't our aesthetic. Like we as you can see behind us, I have the springtime, I have the Run Disney.
did you didn't get Mickey Minnie? I thought you got
No.
them. Oh,
We
I
got
thought you
Mickey and
owned.
Minnie for someone else.
Oh, okay. I was like, I thought you
I
bought
do
them.
not own Mickey and Minnie myself.
Honestly, like the Mickey Minnie shoe, or maybe not Minnie, but Mickey. If that was in a style that I had wanted and would wear often, I probably would have gotten that one because I do like Mickey. But I had like tried out the Ghost Max threes earlier in the week at our run club, and they were awful for me to run in, and I don't need a pair of walking shoes, so it just wasn't worth it
Yes. And we
for
have
me.
heard that the styles for the upcoming weekends are pretty cute.
Yeah, yeah, and
That's about as much as we know right now, but
that's
we know
literally all.
someone who has seen them.
Yeah, but and he's lucky because he can wear some of these to work, so he didn't have to run in them, but he can still get a good amount of use out of them.
Yeah, Scott joins us. He said in the post race funk after Detroit, only have springtime surprise scheduled. New
It's so
camera.
far away.
Glycerin is my favorite. Yeah, so anyways though, Brooks like totally crushed it with that. As for the weekend merch, I thought it was just okay. I didn't purchase anything from the weekend merch itself.
I didn't
Um
like a single thing.
yeah, the design aesthetic was just not really our vibe, and that's
Yeah.
okay, you
It
know,
looks like Rugrats, like is the only thing I could think of the whole time. Like the
like that 90s kind of.
yeah, and that I just didn't love it.
Yeah, and
Didn't
that's
need
okay. You
it.
know, I know other people did and other people were excited
Yeah.
for it, and you know, we are lucky enough that we can be picky about it because
We
we
have
do so
so much
many.
stuff. We don't need to just buy stuff to have stuff. That's very true.
Yes, and you know, we are definitely into the marathon weekend aesthetic, so that'll probably be one
Oh,
where
the
we will
books.
find. Yep.
The books. I gotta save my money for all the book stuff.
Yep. One thing I will comment on was the people were talking about the mesh shirts. That was definitely
Interesting.
interesting. I do highlight that in my Expo video. You can see me pull a couple of them out where it's like basically just the sleeves are a mesh. Um, and I know some people had a lot of opinions on them. Oh, actually, didn't love the mesh on some of the shirts.
Interesting choice, I think. I don't know if that one's gonna pay off
It was a
for me.
choice. Yeah, so that was something. Appreciated the new Run Disney merch incorporated Minnie instead of just Mickey. That is actually pretty cool.
That
I
is nice.
appreciate that.
Yeah, mix up the characters
That
a
was one
bit.
section I didn't really go into was like the what we always call the generic section.
But like the what do they call it? The core line, I think is what they call it. We did like watch the video that they shared, which I like that they do that and kind of walk through it. But the good thing about that is like if you see stuff that someone else bought or you see the video, that stuff should be available at all the race weekends for the season.
Oh, one thing I will comment from the merch area that I liked is they finally removed all photo stops
Mm,
from the merch,
gives you
like
a lot of more
from
room.
that merch section. Yes, there should not be any photo stops in there. It just like it's already crazy enough, and then people are like sitting anywhere they can to try stuff on, and like to just give people more room. I think it definitely helped. Like
Yeah.
people had more corners to kind of go into.
Yeah, because you were there early the first day, so there was probably at capacity when you went in and you had
Yeah,
room.
yeah. I mean, it was I would say average first day expo. It was not as bad as some of the other ones that we have been to. You know, with the virtual queue and everything. I did get group number 2, so I was in there like hecka early too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a crowded first day expo as it always is. Where we definitely noticed that was the line to do bib pickup was going out of the building, doing the zigzags, and then going all the way down to the globe.
Kind of like I think that was how it was last
It's
Dopey.
been consistently like that for a lot of race
Yeah.
weekend.
It's just that
Basically,
first day when you can't go to your merch hall yet. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go
yes,
stand in line. So
it's the virtual queue basically backed everyone who would have waited in that lineup to do their
yeah, because it used to
bibs.
not be like that before the virtual queue. Like there would be a huge line for that, and then you could usually get your bib pretty
Yes.
quickly.
But I will say, even as long as that line like looked, I think we waited maybe 20 minutes. It literally constant moving. It was easy. It was no problem really getting in and out. But if you are definitely someone who likes to just grab their bib, get in and get out, go later in the day or go that second day if it's
Yeah,
within your power. Of course, for dopey, that's not an option.
huge fan of going second day. Although springtime, I just went like later in the day, and I also walked right in and out of the bib pickup area. So
Yeah, this is benefit of doing goofy, no pressure to go on the first day. Yeah, and like I said, I like to go back the second day because sometimes it's hard to like try to get all the
explore.
content
Yeah,
and explore that first day because everyone's waiting for the photos and everything as they should. So a lot of times it's easier to just go back the second day and film whatever I missed.
and usually you can get a nicer experience, like even walking around the vendor hall with a few less people. You can actually take in everything that's there.
Yeah, and Carrie said, love the brighter lighting where the photos were too. The lighting used to be
It's
so,
a good
yeah,
point because they do that mood lighting in the merch hall, which is cool, but not great for
but it
pictures.
does make it, yeah, it's hard for pictures. It's hard too, even you can
To
see
see
on
the
the
colors.
video, like when I'm filming, like everything looks off in the coloring.
Yeah.
because of that. Like, unless you're there in person, you're not going to get a good feel for like some of the colors and all of that. Yeah, bib pickup though, I mean, super easy. They rearranged that room just a little bit, I think, to give the photo section, because they did move characters in there a couple years ago. Uh, give that a little bit more room, and I think that worked because the character photos are like in the back, so you can just, if you're not interested in that, you don't even have to go. You can just go in, grab your bib, and swing to the other side. So yeah, really, that was all easy. Character lines were pretty long. There were pretty good character lines when we went the next day too.
Yeah, yeah. It was pretty much the whole taped area I think that they had for all the stops were filled up. So we went at 1 p.m. ish, I think.
Yeah, it was about 1:30 when we got there. And then as for the actual expo hall, this was where they moved the number signs. So when you came in, there used to be the vendors on that left side. That is like where BB Brook and all of them used to be. That's where the number signs are, and all of those vendors basically shifted across, and everyone else kind of basically shifted like a row behind them. Um, but yeah, I thought it was decent. A couple new vendors. I thought the wooden signs, which I highlighted on the expo
Those
video,
are
was pretty
cool.
cool. They said they should be at, as long as it goes well, should be at all of the Run Disney weekends. They were looking forward to Marathon Weekend a lot. They basically had like laser printed maps of the courses, and they were pretty cool. They looked like they were pretty good quality. Tony asked, "Did you notice that they had a place to verify if your chip was working?" I did not see that. And I do remember for, I think, Princess and Springtime, it was like definitely a big section that you kind of went through.
Yeah, was it Marathon Weekend where there was the whole issue
Yes,
and then they
Marathon.
brought it back for Princess?
Yep.
I wonder if they've figured out a way to verify it like on their end before they hand out bibs or something.
Yeah. And then shirt pickup. I know the shirt sizes, because this is the first time we've seen the Brooks shirts in the long sleeves, are highly contested, I would say. A lot of people felt that the shirts ran small, especially through the sleeving. I am fortunate that I am not a big person, so the shirts fit me fine. But pretty much every time that we were at the expo, people noted that there was lines for the shirt swap. People had issues finding the shirt sizes they needed. I do know some people have contacted Run Disney, and I believe they shipped some shirt swaps to people. Don't hold me to that, but I did see some people posting about having shirt issues resolved that way.
Yeah. The
Again,
worst they can say is no if you want to try it. Or you could also check Facebook groups. Some people may want to trade that way or ship them out. I also felt like they were fine. I wore an old, like the old champion shirt to the expo that day. So I had it with me to like compare sizing between the two, and mine felt fine. But
yeah,
you know,
yeah. I mean,
body types are all different, so it can
yeah,
be tough.
and I mean, between the Run Disney, after since leaving the champion shirts, and then Run
Mhm.
Disney has gone through different iterations of their shirts, like not a new game for Run Disney. I actually really don't hate the printing. I know people feel like it's bulkier, but I feel like it just feels like sturdier because of that.
Yeah, I was worried about it, and we all wore the half marathon shirt to the after party that day, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know about this." But actually, I didn't. It didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. So again, different strokes for different folks. I think on that one.
Geezer Gate, another Patreon member. Thank you for your support. I really missed the ESPN grill and no beer mugs at the expo. Yes, the beer cup gate. So I did post about it, but basically ESPN is being refurbished. Like the food venue, food hall there is going through a refurb right now, which unfortunately was my lunch plan for
Ah,
the first day. I was like, oh, easy. I'll just pop in there, sit down in the AC for a few. So I ended up going to Animal Kingdom and coming back to the expo for lunch, which was a better option, anyways. But I guess they have a third party food vendor in there. I don't know if that is permanent or if it's just a right
No,
now
I
thing.
think it's just while they're renovating because they're renovating that restaurant. It's why we couldn't exit that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
But
think. Oh, sorry.
unfortunately, that means the beer garden was there and the vendor basically did not honor the or chose not to honor. I don't know what that looked like between them. But yeah, beer cups could not be purchased at the expo, which people were pretty upset about. And I think that's pretty understandable. That's been kind of a staple of the expo for years is to go and get your cup for the weekend. Obviously, with the specialty cups, that's become more popular in the
Yeah,
last year for sure.
and we learned this weekend that it's definitely easier to get it at the expo because after the race, there's very long lines. But you said it moved very efficiently.
Yeah, we did wait in the line the one time, and it honestly was like less than 10 minutes, and it was pretty long. Like, it moves super fast. There's got to be like 20 different spots, and they're
That's
just
good.
constantly filling. So, yeah, I mean, there was no problem getting it there. There was just a longer line. And again, it's kind of like part of that pre race weekend routine.
I'm just now realizing that a thing that we usually do in our race recap videos is have like the medals and all the shirts and the beer cup to show you guys, and we don't have any of
We can
that.
acquire it though. I did put the medals in here. They're sitting right over
You
there.
want to grab them?
Yeah, we'll jump into that in just a little bit. Yeah, I don't think I have any other comments from the expo. Again, I was happy to see some new vendors in there, the wooden signs being the highlight. I will give Run Disney kudos for the way they did the Run Disney exposition or the Run Disney showcase is what they call it in the front there. Because first off, two sections with the maps, and the maps had each medal over its section, and then it had another section with just the medals. So you had three spots where you could go and do the medals. I felt like that dispersed the people coming to look at the
Yeah.
medals. In my expo video, I always try to film the medals and get in there. And sometimes it feels like I'm super inconvenient, even though I waited my turn to the people doing that.
And it's very fun when you're his wife and you kind of stand back a little bit because then you can hear people making snarky comments about filming.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it
It
is.
happens.
But yeah, and then they had the marathon medals obviously out, which was super cool and excited to see. But yeah, I love that for the current race weekend, they have a great like different displays for that
I
weekend.
just realized I didn't go look at the marathon. I mean, I saw maybe your video was so good I didn't feel like I needed to go watch the look at them. But that's okay. I'll get them in my hands the first time at the weekend.
Yeah, so excited to see all that. Yeah, overall I thought the expo was fine. And I'm still like Brooks has a little bit of a bigger showcase there now, which is good. I would love to see. We had seen On there with their own booth for a little while, but they have not come back. Again, I would just love to see some more like big running brands
Running
in
stuff.
there.
There was like some random things. There's like a skincare and like a hair care,
Jewelry cleaner, the ring
jewelry
cleaner.
cleaner. Yeah, interesting stuff. Like a lot. Actually, like felt like a lot of new things that were very different. And maybe if it makes some money, I guess.
Yeah. Well, do we want to go ahead? We did not run the 5K, so I don't have any comments for you on the 5K. Other than the course was the same, and I think people generally enjoyed it. A couple of people commented that they didn't feel like there was enough characters out.
Hi, Allie.
Allie says, shout out to Katie for getting my magnet since I missed that entire building. Um, and yeah, so yeah, no real comments on the 5K. Only one I heard was a lot of the character stops were like double up characters, and some people felt like there wasn't enough actual stops because of that.
Interesting. Do you want more stops or do you want to get your double characters quick in your pictures?
I mean, there should always be a good variety of like number of stops though.
Yeah, I could see that.
But anyways, yeah, so do we want to move into the 10K then?
Sure.
Yeah, so we ran the challenge. We ran 10K and half marathon. Um, and we got this new course for the 10K, and I really enjoyed the 10K. I mean, I think the 10K was my favorite of the two races from the weekend. I love the distance of the half, but man, this course for the 10K was a hit for me.
Nice. Nice.
What do you have any thoughts on the
So the 10K, I was running it to see how fast I could currently tunnel visioned for a lot of it. But it was a very it was like a good run for me, and I didn't feel like it. I feel like the course was good. It was easy to navigate. Yeah, I really didn't have like any issues with it. Could not tell you any characters or anything that was crazy in the tunnel
I
vision.
think it's better
It
to
was
stay
good.
on this side because it's gonna
Weather was
swing.
good.
Yeah, no, it's here. Because we're gonna be making
Didn't
a
get a
right turn
PR,
next.
but I'm very close, and it was very doable.
She is very close. Yeah,
What is up,
I
everybody?
really
Medieval times.
Oh, look,
again,
an
So
ad.
excited
an
to tell you about our
ad,
new
not
show.
an ad.
We're finding new stunts.
All right, we'll get rid of
We're
that.
filming new action.
Gonna see incredible horse.
He's trying new things today.
Yeah, we
he's
did try
getting
new things, but I don't think
fancy.
that's gonna work.
Speaking of new things, you did get to use new cameras that I think look fabulous in like the darker conditions compared to your old ones, and I'm excited for those.
Yeah, that was what I was kind of trying to show you. Okay, there we go. I can mute the audio for it once that pops back up. There we go. How do you find out what characters are going to be on the course before the race?
You don't-
Technically, yeah, you're not supposed to. Every once in a while, that list makes its way out. Sometimes on the highways, you can see
if you see the little signs,
they have signs for where characters are going to be.
Sometimes in the morning when you're driving up and they have the set up, some of them are obvious, like what character is. Like we stayed at All Star Movies, and so we drove by like Blizzard Beach on that road to get to Epcot. So we saw like the Lilo and Stitch set up and a few other ones. We saw the Queen of Hearts set up, so we knew that would be out there, things like that. But unless someone leaks a list, which doesn't often happen.
Alex, yeah, Alex got to run the 10K with us. We ran into him on the course and he jumped in and participated. Yeah, so this is the 10K video. It'll actually drop live tomorrow. It was like all of our race videos go live for our Patreon members early, so it is already out for them, but you will be able to see this tomorrow. Yeah, new race cameras though, did amazing. I should have the half video out probably end of the week or early next week. Or next weekend. Just depends on what kind of time I have, but probably in about the next week, I'll have the half video done as well. Yeah, I really am happy with the new cameras though. But yeah, again, I thought this course was great. Like pretty much after about mile 1.5, you're pretty much all on front stage stuff. Yeah, you do like you go out and do the boardwalk and stuff, but I still think that's way cooler than being, in the backstage or the highway areas for sure. You do go back out a little bit towards the end, over basically by where the wood only dumpster used to be, which now there's a concrete only dumpster.
Step up.
I know. I
Hey,
know.
couple's costume.
Wood only and concrete only. I kind of love that. Yeah.
Very fun.
Pack Your Pixie Dust says, I'd run this course every time. I'm hoping that this course sticks around at least for this year because I really thought this was
They
good.
had snow?
They did have, yes, they had snow when you did the Anna and Elsa
Oh
stop.
my goodness. I'm not a Patreon member, so I haven't seen the video yet. That's so fun. Sorry, now I'm just watching the video. That makes for interesting YouTube content to watch. Watch other people watch the video.
Oh, this is interesting. For those of us who are injured, the new 10K course is tough for cheering you all on. You have to choose one spot and kind of stick to it. Yeah, there's really not a lot of options to see the runners because you can see them at the start and really the finish.
Or the boardwalk if you're staying there.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's really not a lot of spectator or cheering options for sure.
Yeah.
Which that definitely could be a con. But again, as for like the in-park time.
Is that very different than the other, like, the previous typical 10K course, though?
So at least some of the 10Ks, you got a little bit towards that side when you were coming back into the park. You could see them. Or if it ran out and across the bridge, you could see them at about mile 2 before you got into Epcot.
You're right. Okay, interesting.
Do we think the turns were an issue for wheelchairs? I wonder if anyone heard feedback. It was definitely like a windy course for sure. But I did not hear any feedback from the wheelchair. In fact, actually, I don't think we passed any of the wheelchairs. Usually, we see a couple of them through a race. And I don't recall seeing any of them during this one.
Interesting. I'll have to, because I know some of them are involved in the different Facebook groups. So I'll have to see if anyone posted like a race recap or anything where they talked about that.
Yeah,
It's a very good point, though.
Again, I really enjoyed the 10K though. I really like this course. I hope we see it again, at least for Dopey.
Yeah, I'd be excited to run it again.
Absolutely. Well, why don't we go ahead and move into the half? So half marathon also had a little bit of a course change. Still kind of followed a typical flow to what we've seen.
Yeah. Some construction, like, reroutes in Hollywood, especially.
Yeah, I mean the Epcot section was pretty much the same. Oh, Tony has said for the 10K that turn at there was the 180 turn at Connections, which really isn't that uncommon because there's always that 180 turn outside of Epcot, like even for the half. Like there's always a 180 turn somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I passed one on a hairpin turn, no complaint from them.
But how'd they look? Do they look angry? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I thought the half was pretty good too. Good amount of characters. I think we stopped for everyone but the first two. Good variety of characters. Again, like it was cool that you got a little bit more out of Hollywood. I did think it was funny that the backstage section of Hollywood, where you go by the Pixar place, is still the same. It's still the
I thought that too when we went there.
Yeah, what is that? What did it used to be called?
Was that the Streets of America?
Yeah, it is literally like all the Streets of America stuff is still back in that section.
That was cool. Not gonna lie.
It's just there's like some dumpsters and stuff back there with it, but it was a fun like
Well, when we were running there, the first thing I noticed I don't know, maybe I looked down when I ran, was that the ground was still like the paved, kind of artistically designed, walkway, and then I started looking around me, like you said, I was like, the buildings are still here. This is awesome. I mean, that was around the struggle time, Allie.
Yeah, so a little more on course time. Usually you're like hitting mile 5 as you're exiting Hollywood, and you hit mile 5 right about at that point. Actually,
it was just after. I think you get back on stage and you hit the mile 5.
Yeah, and then you get that little point where the runners are coming kind of to and fro. How did you feel about congestion on this course?
It was crowded, but I don't think there was any points where we had to come to a walk. I don't know if it was just we were in a good kind of group of people that we were all able to at least jog a little bit. We did have one road rage incident. That was later on. That was closer to mile 8. It wasn't terrible. A little crowded on that walkway between Boardwalk and Hollywood, but I feel like people were being decently kind about it. I like the water stop change. I think it's so much better over by Swan and Dolphin.
The water stop being before you're on that little path.
I know we talked about that with Steve when he was on the show, and he was very concerned about it, and I think it's a lot better than it being on that little tiny sidewalk.
Yeah, I do agree. I almost kind of missed it though because the character stop was right there, and then I'm like, oh, there's a water stop here too.
So I think that's an improvement. But no, I didn't feel too terrible about crowding.
Yeah, we did have one friend who started, I think, last corral or second to last corral, and he said he felt like it was his first Run Disney race and his first race of this size.
And he could he should have been up probably a corral ahead of me with his paces. So I could definitely see that being frustrating. I was surprised because in my brain, I was expecting when we were out on the road it to be like the marathon where you're on one side of directional traffic and then going back to the other side. So you have 2 lanes both ways. I was not expecting to be one lane one way, one lane the other.
Yeah, so probably one of the bigger changes was instead of doing a loop by Coronado and running past Blizzard Beach, you did a little out and back to the Blizzard Beach parking lot, which I thought that section, like the Blizzard Beach parking lot, really wasn't
Oh no, I thought it was
bad
great.
because of where it was in the
Yeah, I thought it was
race. I
fine.
think for a lot of people, it was still pretty much dark. So really not
I'd say maybe half people.
half the
Yeah,
people.
yeah. Which we commented on. I thought I was gonna hate that we didn't get our extra hour. I think I preferred it. Having the extra darkness was really really nice. Kept it a lot cooler. Okay, I was in Corral D as well. So okay, similar experience.
Rollerbladers were 10 out of 10.
Oh, those were so cool.
I agree. I love when we get something, I'm like, oh, that's different.
Yeah, something unexpected. I
Yeah,
wasn't sure what they were
so
gonna do in there.
Blizzard,
They didn't have a character in there, right?
there wasn't a character in there, but in the Blizzard Beach section, there were people rollerblading around over on the side,
Yeah.
and that was just something fun and different.
I wish they had put a character in there just because it's like such a nice open spot to put someone. But they had one right at the entrance and exit, which probably was a bad spot to put one now that I'm thinking about it because I was crowded. But whatever.
Yeah, and that is, again, that section was a little out and back. It was on the same side of a 2-lane road, so you had runners coming one way and the other way, and it was one lane basically per
Yeah.
running
Which,
path.
I get it. It lets them keep a lane open for traffic 'cause there were cars going back and forth. Totally understand. Just did not give you as much room.
Yeah, and then really it's the mile up World Drive and then doing the little hills leading up into Epcot, and then you get into Epcot. We do that kind of quick dash across Epcot. You do get, I love that, like running down the center towards World or towards Spaceship Earth though.
The Epcot ball.
The Epcot ball. Yeah, it was we got a good picture there because it was the purple and orange scheme, which is like my favorite Epcot color
Obviously.
scheme. Yes. Hence the matching singlets to that scheme.
Yeah, those will be good.
Yes, I'm excited for those.
Oh, the new food option, the Stinger chews. I also am a fan of those over the the jelly beans. And also, I discovered this is just a me problem. I was like mentally rejecting having the goos that I brought with me, so I was desperate and in need of fuel by the time we got to the Stinger gels, and I was able to stomach those, so that was great.
Yeah, that does unfortunately happen. That happened to me during my first dopey in the middle. I was like, I don't like my gels anymore.
Yeah, it was like I've used them for years, but it was like for whatever reason they just felt like thick and hard to swallow, and now I need to find new fuel before the marathon. So
Yeah.
lesson learned.
But, we have time and there were definitely options to try. This is not from the half. This is still the 10K, but I figured I would play a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, otherwise I thought it was fine. The course changes were, just okay. This half course and the springtime course kind of are what they are. You get your most Hollywood time out of it, which I enjoy. And, them adding like the Mandalorian character stop in there, I think adds a lot more to Galaxy's Edge. I know when we went by, we had Rey and Chewie up on the top there, like cheering on.
We had Chewie and the
Random Rebel girl.
Violet, Vi. I think I heard someone say her name is. It's the random Hollywood Studios character.
Yeah, the like in universe, yeah, character that was designed around the
I'm
park
sure
there.
She's very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought the half was good though overall. I didn't really have any like complaints about it.
Yeah, I had fun. I ran with my friend Allie, who is in the comments live, and she did great. It was her very first half, and she had some training issues, but she finished it, and I like holding back tears while we were running through Epcot that final time, and I'm just so proud of her, and it was fun for me. And if you were running around us and saw me dancing or singing poorly for 13 miles, I apologize.
Yeah, absolutely. But then of course we, get one more fun thing to talk about. We get to talk about the after party as well. The big exclusive to Wine and Dine. I think a lot of people's reasons for Wine and Dine. Before we get into that, we should probably
yeah.
talk about medals, which we
Obviously, we don't have the 5K.
yes, we do not. And let me do that for us. So we have the 10K. I'm not really like a Frozen or an Olaf person. I know my mom, if she is watching this, which she does watch her videos, was excited about Olaf.
She dressed as Olaf for the 10K.
She did dress as Olaf.
And she ran like behind me the whole time, so she's just kind of creepily in the background.
And
of
I
all
did
my
like
pictures.
that this has the like snow. I like when they do the embellishments on the back. That's like my favorite part sometimes. And also it's like 2 different colors, which is kind of cool.
And then the half marathon, which is very cute. I do like Lady and the Tramp. I think it's weird that
The spinner is the same
on both sides. Why? What's the point? And I also thought they kind of phoned in their little design on the back, because it's just squiggly lines that I'm sure is supposed to be pasta, but
yeah, that's kind of weird that they're like, what
else.
does this look like? Squiggly lines.
Yeah, they could have done like paw prints. That would have been adorable.
Yeah, as always, Tony, thank you for being out there and cheering us on. And then, if I could not drop this ribbon 10 times in a row, that would be fantastic. I feel like this one is like the hardest hinge medal to open up in my life. Like, I'm glad that the hinge feels sturdy. I kind of hate the inside of this one, to be honest.
I don't like it.
The outside is fine. And the back is just stars, which I think is still better than the squiggly lines.
Yeah, it should have been paw prints.
And
taking that to the bank.
oh, I do agree with that. It could have been paw prints on the back.
Adorable.
Yeah, people say congrats on your 10K. Yeah, Katie's gonna crush it here soon.
It was a good 10K. It felt good. I felt strong. I feel like I truly ran it like the fastest I could. I don't feel like I left anything, out there. So it was a good like baseline. Excited for it. I did see someone ask a question way up there about if I've ever dead last start with the balloon ladies, and I haven't, because no matter how fast I get, I'm always going to be scared of not finishing. But maybe when I get way faster.
We ran, was it the Star Wars 10K that we did together, though, that we started, like, in the last corral?
It was the half.
No, because we've never done a half together.
No, we didn't do it together, but we both,
No, I think it was the 10K, because I stopped to use the restroom. And they were, like, hollering at people, like, hey, you need to not wait at this restroom because the balloon ladies are coming.
I don't remember that. But I do remember, like, us being in the last corral because we signed up late and having to run really fast, and you being really annoyed, like, having to pass so many people. I don't know. We did have that experience for sure. But I don't know. I joke, but maybe I would do it one day. It might be fun. I get really annoyed waiting in the corral, so I don't know if I'd want to wait that long. But right now, my goals are to get a 10K PR and then get a 10K proof of time. And then once I get a 10K proof of time, then I want to try to stop for like more character photos. It's kind of like the 3 goals I have.
Yeah, I love that. Someone did ask me about times, and I'm honestly totally fine sharing that. The 10K we ran in 51:27, so it was a 7:47 pace. That was with all of the character stops, and I don't usually stop my watch like when we stop. And that one you'll see in the 10K, like most of the group ran with us. For the half, it was me, John, and then Steve gained like a mile. He was like a mile behind us and caught up to us.
That's awesome.
Which it was awesome. My moving time on that was a 1:56:58. I think my clock time on RunDisney, I did stop my watch when we used the restroom, only because my distance was already so far off on this one. Yeah, my half, what did I clock? 13.6. So I was off by like half a mile, which does happen. I was like not upset about it, but I did stop my watch then because I'm like, this is gonna keep clocking like .01
Yeah.
while I'm using the
One of the
restroom.
marathons I did, I got like over 27 miles, and I didn't stop. I may have ran probably because I ran off to use the bathroom. That's probably what it was. But it annoyed me for half the race that I was getting places a half mile before I was actually there.
Yeah, so that was
Mentally
like
not
an
great.
8:30 pace with the character stops, and a couple other like stops and dilly dallying in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then a couple other comments. I did Wine and Dine last year with the Balloon Ladies on the 10K.
You know what? I would probably be more inclined to do it on a 10K because just the waiting and then the time it takes to do a half. I want to be eating breakfast before then.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
But again, feel free to keep dropping questions. We're gonna go into the after party. We did have a couple more people join us. So again, if you ran, let us know how your race experience was. Any Run Disney, Wine and Dine questions, all of that fun stuff. We will start hitting on. But I enjoyed the after party. I know the weather was a little bit hit or miss. It was like either downpouring or fine.
Mm-hmm.
We got kind of lucky that like every time it downpoured, we were in line for a ride, so we actually stayed pretty dry. But I mean, we were pretty ride focused as usual. We didn't even stop and like actually do the full fireworks this year.
Yeah. Allie and I didn't stay for much of the after party. We did have a fabulous meal at that Mexican restaurant that's on the water.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what the full name of it is.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's the one that's outside on the water. We had a wonderful server who said she was out cheering. She was one of the people cheering in Mexico for the 10K. So it was cool to have her tell us that. But yeah, oof, that was such a good, and that was like a last minute call. So
Yeah, and that is nice when you can get in there at 5 o'clock with the after party. You can make that reservation for like 5:15,
I
5:30.
I did see a very good tip that we might want to adopt later on. La Hacienda
Something.
And but they did a reservation for a little bit later. They did it at like 8, 7:30 or 8. And so they were there and like some restaurants you have views of the fireworks, which is great, but then it also gives you a place to chill while like the
People
crowds
are clearing out.
because that can get a little iffy. And then like if it's raining, you have a place to sit. And I was like, that is a very good idea because we've always done the earlier dinner. Might be better to do a later dinner and try that out.
Yeah. Well, it was fine for us because we didn't like make a point to go and do fireworks this time. So we were actually able to go and basically while people were clearing out, we were already in the line for test track, which was new to me. I was super
Did you like it?
pleasant. Yeah, I enjoyed test track a lot. I thought it was very pleasant. It's not like mind-blowingly different. It's the same course. They brought back some things from previous versions that I enjoyed. And then, of course, the node to World of Motion. I am like an Epcot history sucker, so I love that as well.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, but I mean, After Party was good. We rode, I think, everything but Frozen.
Okay.
We rode, and none of the lines were too outrageous. I think Guardians at some points had gotten the longest. Test track, because of the weather, was kind of hit or miss. That was the other reason why I was like, I want to do test track like now because it was open and we knew there could be some weather. It's like, can we please hit this? Because this is my only like do or die of the night. But otherwise, like the group itself that we were with was, still a big group by most standards, but it was a little bit smaller than usual. So we were able to just kind of flow and get to each ride pretty quickly, and it was a fun night. I enjoyed it.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. My friend Allie and I went back to the hotel and we went to the gift shop and we used our included gift card to buy Mickey ice cream bars and Diet Coke.
Love it.
And then we went back to the room and ate them in bed, and then we fell asleep. It was a great night.
Love it. Yeah, we were out there until the party closed at 1 o'clock. And we still we stopped for Lilo and Stitch when they were out, so we did a character stop. And then they had the special character stop in front of the Spaceship Earth. They had a set of medals that you could take if you wanted to do medal shots. And then they had the other one with the Mickey ear with the medals over it, which we stopped at.
I thought that was really cool that they did that.
Yeah, The after party was much better than I expected. I was worried it would be so busy, but we did everything except Living with the Land and Via Napoli at 7:30. It was great. Love it. Glad you enjoyed
You
it.
definitely missed out on Living with the Land, though. It's the best ride.
Yeah.
I saw someone was a Living with the Land ride boat for Halloween this year. Saw that on TikTok. That
There was a
fun.
whole group at the race that were all the photographs at the end.
This race? I know people
Yes.
have done that in years past. I didn't see it
Yeah,
at
there
this
was a
one.
group this year.
It's always we should always have that. It's magical. I was wondering if any rides went down. Frozen went
Yeah.
down.
I don't remember seeing. Actually, I didn't look at the app like too much at all because, like I said, Frozen we were gonna get in line for, and we're like, we could skip this one.
Do they even put wait times on the app?
No.
During the it's kind of like useless then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't have seen. We had that happen last year though, where like, well, Test Track was closed for refurbishment. Frozen went down.
They
so
didn't
really,
have Living with the Land open.
yeah, your options were Remy and Guardians
And Soarin'.
and Soren. Yes.
Yeah.
Haha, yes, the land is the best. The only issue was busing back to Pop, 0 buses.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is one thing. If you have a car during that weekend, I think driving, I mean, we drove the whole weekend. We just prefer now to drive to the races. I find we usually tend to get there a little bit quicker. I would rather like leave at the same time that we would get on the bus and get there quicker and sit in my car for 10 or 15 minutes while I drink my coffee than have to deal with the buses. Not that the buses are bad, like we've only ever had one issue with the bus, but you know, it was that one issue that we were like, okay, I think we drive now. But yeah, if you can drive or do some sort of alternative way to get back after the party, I feel like the lines for the buses after the party are always kind of horrendous. Or if it's like within your power to stay at one of the walking distance resorts,
Oh, what
even
is
for
it?
that night, we've done that before.
Where did we stay?
We did Riviera, but we left before.
Oh, there was another. We left the party.
Yeah,
early,
we did leave the
so
party
we took
early.
the Skyliner because it's not normally. It usually closes like an hour after like the official party.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
I think that was a rainy year too.
Yes, and I think it was a little chilly and being cold and wet. Not my jam.
Is it a walk to the cars after the race?
Yes.
I would say it's not really any longer than when you get off when they drop you on the Epcot buses. You're just coming from a little. It could be if you're on like the very end, it would be a little bit further.
After the marathon, well, honestly, okay, I will say I still think it's worth it to drive even with the longer walk, especially after the marathon. Just because like standing and waiting for a bus sometimes because the lines can get longer for the resort buses is annoying, and then like I don't know, just being able to like get to your car and leave whenever you want is really nice.
Are you staying at Fort Wilderness for Dopey?
Not
No,
this time.
not this time. We're at Pop.
No,
Sorry, we're at Port.
Port Orleans, but I can't remember which one. We're at one of those because we did the fundraising with ACS, and they do a lot of the charities will do group rates at the hotels, so you can get like a little bit of discount. And I think Port Orleans ended up being the same price that Pop would have been if we booked it on our own, and we haven't stayed there in a really long time. So
It's a good quiet resort for a
we
race
wanted to try
weekend.
something a little different, and I like how close it is to Disney Springs. For that long of a time, it gives you like several different food options and stuff, so you don't have to go to the same place over and over.
Yeah, so something a little bit different for marathon weekends. As much as we love Fort,
Yeah.
we did not want to do the camper rental again. Not that I would say we had a bad experience with it. I actually thought our last one was pleasant,
Yeah.
but it does add a complication to a already complicated weekend.
Yeah, and it honestly price wise like is I think more expensive than doing the like resort rate that we have, or definitely more expensive than a value. I will say we haven't talked. So I mentioned we stayed at All Star Movies, and it's been a long time since I've stayed there. I like loved staying there. I thought it was great. No problems like for the race.
No, we had a great like little room. It wasn't too far from the parking lot.
We had gotten apparently we booked a preferred room. It might have been all that was left when I went to book, but it was like a great location. Super easy to get around. The food in the food court we got a few times was good. I do think some of the first thing I got was like way too expensive for what I actually got, but it tasted good. But yeah, no, I will definitely keep that on my list as of places to stay for cheap.
Yeah, yeah, it was fine. And we had a room that was facing like towards a little wooded area. Really didn't hear like any of the other rooms around us though or anything.
No, yeah.
It was quiet.
I think a few times maybe I could hear like a door shutting. Well, it would have been below us because we were on the top floor, so I
We
guess
were,
below
yeah.
us. But no children screaming, no problems like that.
Yeah, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with All Stars.
Yeah.
But we'll leave it open for questions for just a few more minutes. I know someone will inevitably ask this after the show is out. We've talked about the new cameras. I don't think I've like really talked about them. So we do have two of them. I used to run three cameras for the races. Now we're down to two because these ones I think will do it. But these are the Go Ultras. I was using the Go 2s, which are now, this is like 4 generations newer, basically. It's a little bit bigger than the little thumb size ones that I used to have. But it does still come out of the pod. The pod now has a screen on the back of it, which is an upside and a downside. I kind of liked the little AirPod case because it enclosed the camera itself. I do have to use like a headband with it now, and it goes up here, which is nice because up here actually feels like less weight than on the tip of the hat, which I like. But as you guys saw, and once the actual video goes live, like I can record in 4K now, which I couldn't do before. The low light video is way better. The stability is better too. I mean, I thought that was already pretty good on the cameras.
Yeah.
So yeah, really happy with the Go Ultras. And then I was curious like what kind of battery I would have after the half marathon, and both of them still had over half their battery, and like I used like less than a quarter of their storage
Nice.
space through the whole weekend, like recording everything. The old cameras I used to have to dump everything after every race and reset them. These I can pretty much go a whole race weekend and just keep filming, which is also nice.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. You guys rock. Love these live streams. Thank you so much for joining us, and also thank you for being a Patreon member and contributing and helping support the show. We do appreciate that. Have a good night. Camera is a great upgrade for the channel. Good call. Other kind of gear talk. I try to post on the Instagram the Mizuno. I think it's the Wave Ride 29 or Wave Ride 9s or 29s. I've been wearing this week. I've really been enjoying them. A little bit heavy for my long run, like towards the end this morning. I think for my longer runs, I like something a little bit lighter. But for everyday mileage, super comfortable shoe. Mizuno's were not like on my radar at all, and I'm really enjoying those.
Nice. I got a new pair of glycerin 21s that I found for cheap online, which I desperately needed because I didn't realize that both my pairs of glycerins I bought before Dopey last year. And we were literally at Wine and Dine. I pulled them out of my bag and I'm like, this shoe is completely flat. That's not great.
She got
So,
great life out of them, that is for sure.
but yeah, the glycerin served me well for almost 11 months. So, um, it's nice to have a fresh pair of shoes. I will say that. But still rock. I haven't tried the 22s yet. I'm still on the 21, so I'll have to. Hopefully, those aren't too different. Move into those.
Yeah, well, it looks like we are kind of winding down on the questions here. It's been just over an hour, so we should probably wind down on the show. Once again, thank you all. If you watched live or you're rewatching the show, we appreciate you being here. If you are on the rewatch gang, please comment your questions or just comment. Let us know how the weekend went for you. We love to hear from you. Endorphin Pros out of the box for fun. Don't tell your friends. um, as always, like I said, you can support us over on Patreon at patreon.com/mousegen. And make sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all of that fun YouTubey stuff. And we will see y'all at Marathon Weekends. All right. Bye, guys.